What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Have you ever wanted there to be a Xenosaga HD collection of some kind? Just throwing a bunch of the older games from the PS2 into a collection that you can play on your Switch, your PlayStation 4, your Xbox, or your PC. A lot of us, I think, have wanted that, and we're going to go over today why that was almost a real thing. Yeah, we learned a bit more about this from a certain person that would have knowledge at Bandai that we're going to talk about today. And then also, it looks like a strange Switch got out there in the wild, and it certainly wasn't. It appears to be a mix-up with Nintendo and technically Best Buy and a customer where they got a Switch that didn't even have the correct operating system loaded on that, and why that could be a big deal for the homebrew community. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit the like button. It does help out. You guys have been helping out quite a bit with the amount of likes you've been putting on the videos, and I do appreciate the help there. And as always, if you're brand new here, make sure you subscribe down below so you can stay up to date on all of the gaming news going on in the gaming world. We're actually going to start today with Google Stadia. Now, Stadia, of course, they've said that they're going to add games to their Pro service, which is basically like their Games with Gold or their PlayStation Plus service, where every month there will be games that you can just play. You technically don't download the games, right? You just hit a button and play them, and they're cycling games through. So much so that they've actually been going a bit faster than they said they were going to. They said they would do like one game a month going forward or so. They keep doing multiple games per month, and we just found out that there are going to be 2 more, apparently, added in January. One is also going to be leaving. Now, the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider is actually being added, and then Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is leaving, and they also have Thumper being added in as well. And Rise of the Tomb Raider is a very good game. However, I think most people have probably played it at this point, and it's been on for sale on Google Stadia for a little while now, along with Thumper. So there's also a chance that in the last month you may have already purchased it. Now, with Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, they did refund people who had purchased it, but I think that was because it was very close to when the service came out, when people may have just been buying games pretty quickly, right? Just trying things. Although I still am a little off about them making that free after then selling it pretty recently, straight up without any kind of announcement or any clues. But still, it is kind of their model, what they're doing now, where they're cycling these games through, and they have removed one with Definitive Edition. So I guess if this is going to cycle in and then come out, Google's probably like, you know what? All of these games are eventually going to be free anyway. I would like to see them add a new one and just kind of throw it in there and make it free, but we'll see what Google has going on in 2020 with Stadia. Oh, also a quick update on that Fallout 76 hacking situation where people were having their straight up inventory stolen by hackers on public servers. Looks like Bethesda has fix that at this time. They went ahead and did that a little earlier in the week. They shut down for maintenance, and they did fix it. They're trying to figure out now, according to their subreddit, how they can compensate people who had their stuff stolen. I assume they're getting the stuff back for them, but to kind of go beyond that, because consider this, people who probably had their stuff stolen are also paying a subscription service with Fallout First, so there is obviously a service that was interrupted there where you feel like you had to step away, or you could have your stuff literally stolen from you in Fallout 76. And I don't know if things will get much worse for, like, can they really go any lower? I feel like they can't. Like, 2020 can't get any worse for Fallout 76. At least I don't think it can. Also, I wanted to point out something that was really, really cool. Now, a lot of us probably played Knights of the Old Republic back on the Xbox or the PC, or maybe went back recently to play it, and it's a very well done story in that game. And of course, we know Darth Revan is the main character technically in the game. One of the best twists, right, in a video game that I've seen in a long, long time. That is up there. But people have wanted this Knights of the Old Republic story to kind of become canon, or just more in line, or even a part of the movies, the Star Wars universe in some way, even if that meant making a full-on movie based on the Knights of the Old Republic kind of universe. Well, it looks like they may have actually made Darth Revan canon in the latest movie. Now, Screen Rant actually pointed this out, that Rise of Skywalker introduces legions of Sith troopers that we know of course, especially if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. And one of those legions is called the 3rd Revan Legion, which a lot of people are now making the connection back to Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. And that is exciting, obviously, for everyone who really wanted that to happen, wanted there to be a connection there. It appears that they have made it not like out in front. This is more more or less in some material that you'd get out even outside of the movies, but they are naming these different legions. Other ones as well, so I would check it out because they do make the connection to other ones like the Force Unleashed even as well. So interesting stuff there, maybe setting things up by connecting them even further for maybe something to do with Knights of the Old Republic in movie theaters. It'd be kind of interesting to see. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start with this weird switch that seemed to pop up on Reddit because it kind of took over their subreddit, the Switch subreddit, for a full day where everyone was kind of freaking out about this Switch. And a lot of people sent me this post on Reddit, which you're seeing here, that does have a picture of a Switch with an odd looking menu. I think this is what caught a lot of people off guard. Now, the story here, according to the person who posted, okay, says that this is a new Switch that they got from Best Buy. And the idea here is they were setting it up, I guess on Christmas Day, right? It's been opened and everyone's excited. The kids are excited. And wait, what's this menu right here? I mean, you could see a couple different boxes and it looks like they were going down a checklist with finalize at the bottom there. And that's kind of what set everyone off. This is a menu that isn't very common to see. However, we have seen it before. What you're seeing in this picture here is called the factory setup menu. It's used before the actual OS that we use for retail is completely loaded up and ready to go. And it allows them to test things. You can see the different boxes and they do have a little checklist there, but for the most part, it goes through the factory. They test all of the functions of the Switch before they then set it up with the OS that we see on our screen or when we're in portal mode now. And then of course we play all of our games on it. The thing with this situation that is very, very interesting is it appears that someone is buying it from them. Someone appears to be very interested in what this thing is. Now, in a post later on down the thread, it says, "Thanks everyone for your insight and suggestions. Under normal circumstances, I would have just returned this for a new one. I'm glad I didn't do that, as several suggested developers are interested in this unit. I'm working with someone who is active in the community and will benefit from having this in his or her hands. It looks like I will turn a nice profit and it will go to someone who will put it to good use. A win-win, all made possible by you. Thanks." So a lot of people are now wondering, what does this mean? Why would someone want this thing? Well, I guess the prevailing idea right now is that because this is a test unit essentially before they start loading the OS on it with its security measures and everything with the final firmware, is that this could be open to exploitation and possibly figuring out how to modify the newer Switch systems. That's why people were so excited to see this. And after talking with a few developers and one or two people in the hacking scene, homebrew scene, I should say, everyone's kind of unsure. And I think a lot of it has to do with these not being common. Now, at this time, Switch Brew, which is where a lot of information and knowledge kind of gets posted about the OS, the systems, updates, all kinds of stuff within the Switch, it looks like there's only ever been 4 instances of this recorded where I guess people were able to get a hold of it, and this looks like the most recent one, and it would probably be the first one that would be recorded on a newer Switch that has the newer X1 in it. And that, of course, is exciting because that is the X1 right now that people aren't able to actually exploit and load homebrew and overclock and do all that stuff with. And I guess it really comes down to who actually got it. I had the funny idea that, oh, maybe Nintendo was like, well, we'll take that back here. How much? But it sounds like it's somebody in the community, and hopefully, yeah, okay, it's someone who can maybe get us a bit more information on this X1 and maybe what they've changed in it and what it can do, right? Because we've seen that it's more efficient, obviously, with its battery life. So maybe there is some much, I would say, higher potential for running games better or overclocking. But if it goes to someone who doesn't want to do any of that, then there you go. We kind of saw a glimpse of the newest, I guess, factory setup menu, and maybe that's it. We'll see, though, if anything actually comes from this going further. Next up, let's talk about the newest HoloLens release. It's exciting stuff. It's on Microsoft Store right now. It is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Check this listing out. This is really funny. This is going around. Obviously a mistake, or maybe just an indie developer or somebody who was just trying to use the word as a keyword that would get people on board, or it's a terrible, terrible listing. They have decided to use Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the artwork, by the way, for their listing on the Microsoft Store. They also list it to be used with PC, mobile device, the Surface Hub, and HoloLens. The best part, though, is the description has kind of been changed, but kind of not. It reads, the new adventure with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is coming with several exclamation points there. Introducing the Rubber Run Again. Play as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and collect as much going and gems as you can on your way. Yeah, so clearly they're using Breath of the Wild as a keyword with the box art and key art and trying to maybe trick people into buying it for what's roughly about $17 to $20 after it's converted. Not a great look, obviously. I don't know if Microsoft would be ripping this down and saying, well, that's obviously not Breath of the Wild at all. It's some other game that you're selling under the guise of Breath of the Wild with the title and the key art. That is misleading. Yes, obviously. So I don't know if this will stay up much longer. I saw it. People were really confused as to what was going on here. It just seems like a smaller indie developer, maybe one person, just trying to get over on some people by using Breath of the Wild title and Breath of the Wild pictures. Then the screenshots don't line up. So most likely, this will probably be gone soon, but it was pretty funny to see. Next up, let's talk about Xenosaga, at least a planned project for Xenosaga. It was kind of some sad news to see the day after Christmas, but Harada did talk a bit about this on Twitter, and this is what he had to say. A Xenosaga collection actually progressed to the remasters plan, but failed in a profitable market analysis. Sorry guys, this plan will be difficult to resurface, and that would be up to Bandai Namco technically because they own the rights to the IP. Yeah, that is, man, that's rough. The only issue here is a lot of us don't really know when this actually happened. Like, it didn't happen like 2 days ago or something. This could have been something that happened a while ago. Like, I feel like JRPGs have had a bit of an uptick recently, and I do think Xenosaga could rebound now and possibly make them actual money. Bandai Namco specifically, and then whoever they partner with, I guess, to remaster the older ones, remake, probably remaster. I mean, let's really sit down and think about this for a second. How much, I guess, effort, time, and money would it take to go back, get some PS2 games? We're talking about 2002, 2004, 2006 for episode 1, 2, and 3, to move those over to current platforms, right? To take them and go, okay, we're gonna put them on the Switch, the PS4, the Xbox One, and PC. I do wonder how much money and time and effort that would take them to where they look at that and say, well, it's not gonna be profitable. I mean, I could get it if they're gonna do like a Final Fantasy VII remake. I would look at that and say, yeah, you're probably not going to make money on that necessarily. That is a lot of money, and they're doing it for Final Fantasy VII, Square is, because it's big enough to support an idea like that. But a remaster? We just had Star Ocean come out from the PS1, and that was pretty basic. I think if it was even just a basic idea, move it over, smooth it out, make it look a bit better, put it on one compilation, a cartridge and a disc and a Steam download, I think you'd get people pretty excited, and I think it would make money, at least in this environment. I do kind of wish Harada had told us when this all went down, because, okay, if it was like at the beginning of the PS4 and the Xbox One generation, maybe. Like, I think now Xenosaga is old enough now to where we can look back on it and be fond, right? Fond memories. It's more than a decade old, technically, from the last one, the third, episode 3. I think we could have a lot of excitement around that if it was announced as a remaster and it was fairly priced and we didn't have to download stuff for the cartridge on the Switch and all, basically everything that would be an issue PR-wise was smooth. Yeah, I think they would make some money on it. So I do hope that Bandai looks back on it now, especially if this was a while ago. They had to have seen the outpouring, by the way. When he tweeted this out, people were really interested in the idea. I hope Bandai looks at that and says, you know what? Maybe we should do something with that, because I still think I think the market's bigger now, especially with the Switch, which is selling RPGs very, very well. There's definitely a market now for them to put it on everything and I think make some money back, and then, hey, let's talk about a new Xenosaga game or something. That'd be cool. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about the Oculus Quest, because it was a bit of a surprise this holiday. It seemed to have sold really, really well, so much so that they're on back order now till mid February, especially if you go on Amazon or even Oculus website, you're not getting them anytime soon at all. And your best bet is maybe to walk into a Best Buy and find one or two that are on sale on the shelf, because even around me, any of the local stores, they're all gone. And I went ahead and just asked on Twitter to see, and a lot of people said they got one. And I do wonder if with the Oculus Link and the Oculus Quest, of course, being able to use the Oculus Link to be used as a regular headset on your PC, and then you hear about Half-Life Alyx, if that really helped to push the Oculus Quest this holiday. It's already an all-in-one system, so you don't need a PC, but you can technically use it with the PC with the Oculus Link. Would that actually cause this thing to sell out over the holidays? VR isn't technically like overwhelmingly, I guess, popular, but it seems that the Quest got off to a pretty good start over the holiday. And I say a start because it's its first holiday, and this probably is gonna be the direction that you see Oculus really push towards heavily, like as advertising and marketing, because you don't need a PC for it, it's all in one. And if you have other games like Half-Life Alyx, because we've kind of heard Valve talk about other VR projects, I do wonder if the Oculus Quest is the way to go for a lot of these companies. Make a headset that works without the PC, but that can also link up with the PC and be used for games like Half-Life Alyx. But if you don't have a PC near you, you can also use Beat Saber or some other games that they have. And there's like a Star Wars game you can play as well. But if you go online now, they're about $650 to $700 for an Oculus Quest. They're supposed to retail starting at $400. So not only is it completely sold out, but the resellers are also taking advantage of this market, which we've seen before with other products, generally means the supply is low and the demand is high. So did they just not supply a lot of them? Or was it really that popular during the holidays? Let me know your experience with this, and if you got an Oculus Quest, I'm really curious here. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Evil Chronic saying, I got clothes and a modded AGS 101 GBA SP, also got a bunch of money, looking to buy a CECH A01 PS3. I'm getting into retro if no one noticed. First of all, the AGS GBA, the AGS 101, awesome Game Boy Advance. That's the backlit one. It's super clean looking when you have it on full brightness. Even on like dim mode, still looks great. But that is a great Game Boy Advance to have there. The SP at the closing, of course, rechargeable battery that you plug in. And then now you're looking for an A01. The A01's tough because they do fail quite a bit. They have just general hardware failure overall, right? Like yellow light. And then of course you have it overheating, and the fans are very loud on it a lot of times because the compound inside is dried up. It is tough. It is seriously navigating a minefield, but if you can find a really solid, very clean looking A01, yeah, you're gonna strike gold, because the library you can play on that thing, if you really consider PS1, PS2, PS3, all of which is fully backwards compatible because they still had that Emotion Engine chip inside, that is a good pickup. Just take your time finding one. Don't jump at the first one you see, okay? And honestly, spend a little extra for one that is very clean and has a solid history and still has that warranty seal on the side. If that warranty seal is missing, be very careful about buying it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button, it really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's Xenosaga HD Collection. Will it work now? Do you think we could get one and Bandai would be okay with the amount of money that they would make from it? Look, I don't expect Bandai to go like crazy with it, right? I expect them to do, I'll be honest, the bare minimum with it. But if they put that on a collection that would work on platforms now, I think it would do well enough. I think they'd make some money, and I hope they reconsider. But let me know what you think about that one down below. Definitely. And then what about this weird switch that popped up on Reddit? Do you think someone who I guess is in tune with the modding or the hacking community, the homebrew community, is picking it up? Or do you think it's like a Nintendo employee or something else? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.